One film that has obviously grabbed the attention of everyone at LFF this year is Guillermo Del Toro's The Shape of Water. For me, it was top of my list really of films I needed to go and see while I was at the festival. Unfortunately, I missed the press screening yesterday because I arrived, and obviously this morning I was very, very lucky enough to go and watch it. So here we go. Brief synopsis. It's about a cleaner called Eliza who is a mute, and she deaf. Well, she's not deaf, but she's a mute, and she communicates with everyone through sign language. She cleans at a secret government facility during the Cold War, and her cleaning friend, who's played by Octavia Spencer, find as a creature very similar to the creature from the Blue Lagoon living inside living in the facility, and it's being tortured by a guy called Strickland, who's played by Michael Shannon, and basically she falls in love with this creature. So there we go. That's the synopsis. Only Guillermo del Toro can create something like this. This man is a visionary when it comes to cinema, and from films like Kronos, Pan's Labyrinth, The Devil's Backbone, Crimson Peak, which for me is beautiful, Pacific Rim, even to TV shows like The Strain. Guillermo del Toro is a director that I've always followed, and today I was very fortunate enough to attend a screen talk with him, and for me it's one of the highlights of my life, well, not my career life, just to listen to that man talk about cinema and his passion for this art. It was amazing. Anyway, go away from that because there'll be clips of the vlog. I really like this film. In the first 45 minutes was so engaging. You create such an amazing rapport with Eliza, played by Sally Hawkins, and she lives such a solitude life, but she has a couple of friends, and she doesn't really stand out from the crowd. Well, she does stand out from the crowd. And her relationship with the creature played by Doug Jones and the Guillermo del Toro alumni, can we call them alumni? Their relationship just grows, and I was quite welled up at the beginning because her loneliness was very sad, and Alexander Desplat's music just flows so well, and it puts you in that tone of loneliness that she has. We're all lonely in life, don't get me wrong. It's just the people that are around us that enrich our lives, and this is a message that Del Toro himself would tell you. But she is just so engaging in that first half, but there is that midpoint where I kind of lost connection with her and the creature and the characters. I felt like, ooh, okay, should I be feeling this, or is it intentional? I don't really know. It was very odd, but it saves itself in the back end. I actually quite enjoyed the cliche-ishy ending. It's a Disney movie gone wrong, obviously. Walt Disney is probably turning in his grave, or probably the icebox that he lives in since his head's been preserved or whatever. I think Del Toro obviously wanted to make this film. He did actually say at the talk that when he watched the creature from the Black Lagoon, he actually wanted them to be together, and obviously it didn't happen. So it's basically the polar opposite of that. It's a really great love story, and obviously it has such a lovely message of you should love the person for who they are and what they are, not if you want to change them, then there's no point. What's the point loving them? So that was a very profound message for me as well. For Del Toro, this film seems slightly experimental for him. He's playing a lot more with the camera, much more than normal, but the fluidity of the film works very well. And in a weird way, it's kind of a musical at the same time. From the 50s-esque music to Desplat's score, it's very intriguing in that way. The rest of the supporting cast as well, Octavia Spencer, great comic relief in this film, just as she can provide in a film. Del Toro specifically wrote the role for her. Sally Hawkins was the same. He actually wrote the role for Hawkins. I really like Michael Shannon, but I like Michael Shannon in everything anyway. That just deadpan face gets me every time, and I'm not surprised why this man gets cast in everything. He was great. I really liked Richard Jenkins. A very different kind of role for him, playing a gay man. That's the other great interesting thing about the setting of the 50s. It was a love story, but at the same time, obviously, the issues of homosexuality, race, ethnicity were very strong and poignant, and Del Toro does really relay that in the film as it's not just a love story. You need to look and what's actually happening around the situation as well. I like Michael Stuhlbarg as well. I thought this was one of his better roles in a long time, because I like him in Men in Black 3. I just detest. Very good. But the overall message, like I said, is you just should be loving people for who they are and what they are, not any other way. So I really enjoyed it. Is it as good as Crimson Peak? Level pegging for me at the moment. Crimson Peak is my favourite. Obviously Pan's Labyrinth is a different level. It's like Pulp Fiction with Tarantino. You just can't say Pan's Labyrinth. But I would say this is one of his better films, and this is a massive, massive Oscar contender. I would be very, very shocked if Sally Hawkins was not nominated and if she didn't win, because she really is this film, and I loved her in it. I never, ever thought that Sally Hawkins would make such an amazing character, and I loved her. I want to marry her. Just even the light silhouettes on her, she just had this old-fashioned Hollywood kind of look to her. I really, really liked her in it. So guys, if you've seen The Shape of Water, you're excited about it, let me know what you think. The written review will be down below, along with Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool, and Thoroughbred review will be up as well. Written, I can't make 2 videos a day. The Wi-Fi here is shocking. It took me 10 hours to get my 120 beats per minute review up, so this probably will be up quite late. So there we go, guys. The LFF journey continues. Killing of a Sacred Deer tomorrow, and On the Beach Alone at Night, BFI Southbank, and Kieran will be joining us. Oh, okay, so I have another screening to go to now. So diolch, danke, obrigado, gracias, merci beaucoup, and see you tomorrow.